Tapped in. Keep the credit, I'ma get it on the back end. Kick rocks, cutting corners, trying to cash in. We still outside, high as gas is. Watch them force you to eat.
All right, guys, we're going to talk about the suspension of Brian Branch. He was suspended on the day. We knew that probably it was going to be coming. It's not like we didn't know that this was going to happen. Brian Branch, like Dan Campbell, man, said, man, it's inexcusable, man. You can't be doing that, bro. You can't be doing that because right now we're really, really hurt in the secondary. And now you're going to be missing one of the biggest games against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 5-1 and we're 4-2. And Tampa Bay will be playing without a lot of their pieces that day in that game. But Brian Branch knows how important he is to the team, man. You can't be doing that, bro. I know some people say, you got to, it's all about, I don't know, man. When it comes to football, yes, people talk junk on the field. People do stuff on the field. But at the end of the day, you got to be able to have self-control, man, and you got to have discipline. Now, talking junk to each other or whatever after the game, fine. But when it comes to throwing blows and stuff like that, that's a whole nother different level. Now, do I blame Brian Branch for what he did? No, I do not blame him for it because it was provoked by Juju Smith-Schuster. He pushed him in the back. The refs didn't call anything. You're about to lose the game. You're kind of heated that you're about to lose the game. And then Patrick Mahomes comes up to you, tries to give you a high five and say, hey, man, good game. And Brian Branch kind of waved him off like, whatever, man. And Juju Smith-Schuster saw that and he had a few words. I don't know what he said, but he had a few words to Brian Branch. And next thing I know, Brian Branch hauls off and slaps the guy in the helmet. And next thing you know, they're rolling around on the field. So it's crazy, man, and next thing you know, Shoesmister is walking around with a bloody nose, things of that magnitude. But at the end of the day, Brian Branch knows how important he is to our team. And like Dan Campbell said, it's inexcusable. And I totally agree with Dan Campbell. We can't be doing that, man. We're already down a lot of players on our team already. We don't need Brian Branch doing things like this because it only hurts our team because he is one of our best defenders on the team. So I kind of looked at it from a different, I understand, some people say, hey, man, I don't blame him for slapping my man or whatever, man. But you got to have self-control and discipline, man. You just can't go around slapping people, man. You can't do that, man. I know we live in a different society, in a different world where people feel like, it's consequences because you say something to somebody. And in real life, yeah, sometimes things can fly off the handle. You can say the wrong thing to the wrong person and they be ready to, they be ready to do something to you. But at the same time, Brian Branch knows that how important he is to his team. And that's the only reason why I say this, that the importance of Brian Branch on our team is everything. So for him going out and slapping somebody in the helmet and rolling around with the guy on the field, man, we don't need that right now. We don't need that from Brian Branch. So, I commend him for what he did, but at the same time, I understand that he is one of our valuable pieces on the team, and we need to have Brian Branch available to us, especially when it comes to going against the big teams like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We need to be able to have this guy. So hopefully he'll learn from this and he won't continue to keep going out there making some bonehead mistakes and stuff like that. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody, sometimes your temper gets the best of you and you haul off and smack somebody. And next thing you know, you guys are rolling around on the ground, or somebody's going to that car and getting a pew-pew. So you don't really need that, man. You know what I'm saying? You really don't need that. But, I understand where Brian Branch is coming from too. The refs wasn't calling anything. The game, he was calling everything against Detroit. And you're losing a football game, and you're mad that you're losing the game. And then these guys want to shake hands at the end of the game. But, you still got to be able to show that sportsmanlike conduct because kids are watching you, man. Whether we believe it or not, man, these football players are role models to a lot of these kids, man. A lot of the future kids that want to come into the NFL. So we got to be careful on how we conduct ourselves and how we carry ourselves. But I do not blame him for what he did because it was a little bit of retaliation because he felt like he was getting bullied in the game and the refs wasn't calling anything. So he decided to take matters in his own hand. And when you take matters in your own hand, this is what happens. There's going to be consequences behind you taking matters into your own hand. But we know that Brian Branch is a solid football player. We know that he'll be straight after this 1-game suspension. But at the same time, I hope it's a lesson for him because I think that Dan Campbell is trying to get it across to him too, that the franchise is not going to tolerate him going out and doing stuff like this. Because Dan Campbell pretty much said that he had to go and apologize to Andy Reid and Juju Smith-Schuster pretty much. So, hopefully Brian Branch learns from this, man. But we can't have one of our best defensive players making bonehead decisions and smacking somebody. We can't have him doing that because we need him on the field. Him and Kirby Joseph are important to us, especially with those guys being able to go out there and play. We're already down 2 of our starting corners. So we don't need to be down all of these key players on our defense. We need to have some of our players on the field. So it is what it is. People make mistakes. Hopefully Brian Branch learns from this, but you can't go out smacking people. You can't go out there rolling around on the ground with somebody, even though, sometimes you just can't hold your temper and you let it get the best of you. We all been in that situation, in that scenario before, where we've let our temper get the best of us. We let what people say to us get the best of us. We've all been in this category. Everybody's been in this position before at least one time in your life. So, yeah, there are consequences sometimes when you say something to somebody and that person is ready to jack you up or that person is ready to deal with you and things of that magnitude. But he has to learn. He has to mature. He has to get better because he knows that we need him. And we need him for every game. As long as he's healthy, we need him to be out there and go out there and play on the football field and do his thing. So this is the reason why I said, man, the Lions probably should have picked up guys like Justin Simmons or maybe picked up a Jabril Peppers just in case these guys get injured, that we got other solid players that can come in and get some playing time for us and do well, man, if guys are going to be out and stuff like that. So, I mean, it is what it is, but at the end of the day, this is something that he has to learn from. He has to learn from this. And hopefully he will learn by being suspended one day because I think he's suspended without pay as well. So you'll learn that, man. When they start hitting your pockets up, bro, you're going to learn that you can't just go out there smacking people, dog, because they're going to hit you right in the pockets, and that's where it's going to truly hurt at. The pockets always hurt. So, I'm not mad at Brian Branch for doing what he did, but at the same time, it wasn't a smart thing because he is one of our best players on the team, and we need Brian Branch to be available for these teams that we got coming up. All right, you guys, this is Raw Detroit, and I'm out of here until next time. Peace.